Count Ceolan, thank you, Minister. And Minister, like previous speakers, I was one of the first to welcome the bill to outlaw the grooming of children into crime in 2021. Fagan's Law, as we call it, was a key piece of legislation for Fianna Fáil when we were in opposition, and I was fully supportive of it then. Diverting young people from getting involved in criminal activity is a key priority for me. The exploitation of young people and children is a particular concern, and there are people preying on the vulnerable, and this has to stop. It is vital that a criminal adult may be prosecuted for a crime which has been committed by a child who has been incited to do so by the adult, and we need the mechanism in law for recognising the damage done to the child. It is so important that we penalise adults for the exploitation and harm done to the child. And exactly, Minister, what you're saying this bill is about. This is about the child. We must tackle crime at all levels and in all areas of our society, from stopping the gang bosses committing the most awful crimes to preventing them leading our young into a life of crime. Criminals need to know we are deadly serious about ensuring they cannot exploit our young for their own ends. We must also be serious about ensuring that crime does not pass down through generations. Sadly, in Carlow, like other areas, we have challenges. We have challenges among our 18 to 25-year-olds. We have some criminal activities like others, and we also have antisocial behaviour, and I know that is across the country. But we are very lucky to have the youth diversion programme in Carlow, and this is where, if the child comes to the Gardaí attention for a low-level criminal behaviour, they are then offered the services of Carlow Youth Service to try to address the issue, to try to reduce the behaviour. This is a very successful project, and while there is funding there for that, we really need to look at funding youth services to re-engage children out of a route of crime. We need to have funding for initiatives for young people in the evenings and weekends. The focus should be across the country on children having places and spaces to engage in youth-centred activity, not of a criminal kind. You know the old saying, Minister, idle hands and all that. Let's work on engaging children after school with free, accessible, enjoyable, child-centred programmes that do not depend on the resources of parents, and that's a huge challenge. This is why the GAA model is a great model to engage children. However, not all children are into football or hurling. If you look at parish clubs, I would like to see parish basketball courts, free swimming lessons, horse riding, theatre, arts, coding, music clubs, all things that are accessible to those of means. But it is often those who see the richest crime can bring that enter into it, and criminals actively promote what crime can pay to recruit young children into their world. So because some children do get into trouble, we need to look at the prevention side of it. We have to get to the children before they offend. I spoke recently about the importance of a community centre for Carlow, and that will be staffing there, and it will be staff working with our communities and listening to our communities, because we need to listen to the voice of our communities and tailor our response to them. And Minister, while I am speaking about communities, I can only again but highlight Carlow Town, which has a very big population, has only 2 community guards at the moment. And I know you tell me it goes back, it's not in your remit, but I would ask that it would be highlighted that we in Carlow need more than 2 community guards in Carlow Town. We need to invest in the youth and community work and have the community have their say on how to support engaging children away from crime. If a child is beyond the division and already in the court system, it's probation, we need to be looking at projects that work with young people in trouble and support for families who have children groomed by criminals. And again, Minister, that was something that came up to me. I was speaking to a family recently, and where they feel is that they feel there is not support for parents, and we need to look at that. So I would ask that we would try and put more funding and support in for parents. Again, I want to speak about Carlow as I do, that we have no probation project in Carlow, and that's important for me. While, you know, we don't want those already in the court system, in the programmes for the children that you are trying to keep out of the court system. So we need a separate, what's called a probation project from the division project. Now, there is a probation project, I believe, in Athy, County Kildare, which is only half an hour from Carlow. I'm sure our Count Corla is aware of it, and I believe it's excellent. But there are probation workers in Carlow, but there is no project, no designated project for Carlow, and I would ask that we look at this. We need the service to work with the communities, so I think we need to show this, and I would ask again that we would look at this for Carlow. Breaking the link between criminal gangs and the vulnerable young people that they try to recruit will be essential if we are to divert young people away from lives of crime. This legislation will further seek to protect children from being drawn into a life of criminality, with all the potential lifetime consequences that entails, and to further disrupt the activity of criminals within our communities. And that's what we're trying to do too. I will say it again, Minister, invest in prevention, invest in supports, and invest in communities. I believe that is the biggest way and the best way that we can look at going forward. I do welcome the new Youth Justice Strategy. I did welcome in 2021, and I want to acknowledge again the work done by Minister of State, Deputy Anne Rabbitte, in this area before her current position. She is as passionate as I am in looking at ways to prevent the recruitment of children engaged into criminal activity. And we need to make interventions and criminalise adults who induce children to commit crimes, and we have a long way to go. But Minister, we need to go into the communities again with high rates of this criminality, and we need to examine a range of issues affecting the community, including the needs of young people in the area, the opportunities available to them and the root cause which leads to criminal activity taking hold. Again, I am delighted to be part here, Minister. I welcome this. Again, I feel there has been a lot of challenges. I know we need to do a lot more. Again, as I said, I know it's not within your remit, but I think community guarding has a really big part to play in that. And I know I've highlighted this and will continue to do so. But again, I want to welcome this, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy.